Thank you. Senator Fischer.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Washington. First of all, thank you for your many years of military service. I congratulate you on those years when you defended this country and the citizens. Thank you, sir. On March 10th, 2022, SkyWest filed a 90-day notice of its intent to terminate service at 29 essential air service communities. At the time, Nebraska had 3 communities that were served by SkyWest: Kearney, North Platte, and Scottsbluff. Essential air service is critical for our rural communities. So how will you ensure that EAS communities will be served when regional carriers struggle to find those pilots if you are confirmed?
Thank you for the question, Senator. That would be one of my top priorities. I would look to work with you and your office on that. I think the FAA has done some work around EAS and the grants that are subsidized in that area, and I would continue that work.
Will FAA commit to continuing issuing the hold-in orders to ensure that carriers meet their contractual obligations in providing service to rural communities?
Yes, Senator.
SkyWest has applied for a Part 135 charter to help better serve these EAS communities, but there's a backlog at FAA. Do you know what the average time is for FAA to process new Part 135 applications, and what would you do as an administrator to address that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. One of the things I want to look at is all of the timelines to process things like that, rulemaking, all across the board. I think that we can improve upon that. I think that in terms of rulemaking, it takes far too long, even internally, from what I've seen. And so I will make that a priority to move those things along.
Yeah, you know, these applications that I referenced here, they're really vital to be able to get those out so that not just the carrier knows what's going on, but these small rural communities where essential air service is exactly that. It's essential air service. And as I said, we have many of those across the state of Nebraska, and to be able to serve not just the people in the communities, but commerce, to keep rural America vital and strong, this has to be a priority. It has to be addressed.
Yes, and I agree with that.
In post-pandemic travel, we've seen an increase in that, and many travelers have experienced flight cancellations and delays. Following these situations, we usually see, you know, a bunch of finger pointing between the airlines and air traffic control. Does FAA have a staffing shortage for air traffic controllers?
It's one of the things that I want to look at, Senator. One of the questions I have is what goes into the staffing model to determine what the headcount is. Is it being staffed to traffic, or is it being staffed to budget? And I think what is input into the model determines what's spit out of the model in terms of the number of headcount. And so I want to understand what is being input into the model. I don't know that now, but that'll be one of the first things that I take a look at. I talk to air traffic controllers at my airport. There's a huge ramp-up time with regard to the on-the-job training for that airport. And so it's the same thing in ground transportation. You ramp up according to the service you want on the street, and it's the same thing with controllers as well.
You know, just to note here, last year, FAA opened the application only one time for the general public to apply for those air traffic control training areas. Do you think that that application should be open more often? What kind of changes would you specifically suggest for that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I want to look at continuous openings. There's a lot of positions, you know.
And continuous training then as well, or you have to reach a critical mass with applications before you do the training?
Yes, I think we need to do both. I think we need to have a continuous recruitment, and I think we need to look at training year-round.
My time is up, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Senator